Very excited about this. Once again, Pete Rizzo, editor for CoinDesk, here joined by perhaps a man who needs no introduction as his face is on every glass surface, elevator, and I think I saw in at least one bathroom here, Mr. Justin Sun, CEO of Bittorrent, founder of Tron. So I'm going to give a bit of a preamble here. The events team sort of was asking me early on in planning this conference who I would like to interview. And I chose Justin here, and I'd like to kind of offer an explanation because I think some people have sort of questioned why. I would say I believe in open forums, and I believe people benefit from more information. And I also think that from my conversations, understanding about Tron is very low. No one I've found can really explain to me how Tron fits into the wider cryptocurrency market, why it's worth $1 billion. So I'd like to ask you some direct questions.
Sure, definitely.
You know, I just want you to know, to start off, I'm genuinely interested in what you think about this. So I'm going to lead with a quote. This is from a well-known developer in the space, Mr. Peter Todd. He's summing up, I was asked him what he thought about sentiment about Tron.
Yeah.
He said, some of us take Tron so unseriously that we don't even know why we take Tron unseriously. So I guess as a first question, why do you think Tron has struggled to get acceptance within the mainstream cryptocurrency community?
Basically, I think have several reasons. First of all, we started from like Asia market, so basically from China. So I mean, it's quite like unlucky at that time. Like China, like we finished all our fundraising in September 3rd, and then right like after that, it's like September 4th, the Chinese government issued a crypto ban. So we have to shift our community and all the operation back to Singapore and the United States.
So you think it's a geographic difference?
Yeah, I think at first is that. The second thing is I think is the development period is too short for us. So basically,
what does that mean?
Tron is born in 2017. So most of the competitors we have compete with has been this industry since like 2013, 2015. So basically, we have achieved like so much like in such a short of the time.
Okay. So you think they're jealous of you?
No. I think it's just they need time to understand. It's more like a project. I mean, even Ethereum just started in 2015. There's lots of the people don't understand the community don't understand.
So one of the criticisms that kept coming up for me was about your go-to-market strategy. Of course, you released a white paper, it was about 14 pages. You raised money on Ethereum to launch an Ethereum competitor. And there were some criticisms of that white paper, particularly from Filecoin's creator, Juan Benet, who accused you guys of plagiarism, not attributing, using other people's code. Was that a mistake? And would you change anything about that launch?
So basically, I want to go back to the white paper first. So I think at that time, first of all, the white paper is have so many languages. So basically, so we can only.
So you're saying it was a translation?
Yeah, definitely. And also at that time, there is a very important. Since at that time we don't even have lots of the English speakers at that time. Even as a founder myself, I started to relearn English when I come to the US markets. So, but that has been, solved perfectly. Right now we have like 350 employees, and half of them is
and these are of the Tron Foundation.
English native. Yeah.
So I want to ask a little bit about yourself and how you were involved in Tron's creation. So you're the founder. Did you code Tron yourself? I know you're not a computer scientist or a cryptographer.
Yeah.
How did you participate in the initial coding?
So basically for Tron, I decided most of the roadmap and the structure. But we have like
when you say roadmap, do you mean milestones or specific consensus protocols? What did you specifically contribute?
Yeah, sure. First of all, the roadmap is what I'm decided, and the consensus mechanism is definitely what I decided based on the industry. So I think also people don't know, like Tron is more like we are aggressive on the on the strategy and on the business level, but we are quite conservative on the technology level.
Right, so you're saying you're conservative on the technology level.
Yeah.
So I know one of the criticisms of Tron was that you guys didn't do anything new. Was that part of the strategy, to not innovate or to not do a technological innovation?
It's not like not innovate, but we want the technology to get mature enough before we moved in. It's like kind of like the Apple moves in the mobile phone industry. So they wait until like other companies successful develop something before they adopt the technology, because Apple know their advantage is on their channels, and also they got a huge amount of users.
Right.
So it's also I call it more like a lane mover advantage. So basically our advantage is more like we build huge traffic and huge user base. And
so let's get to that point. So you seem to believe that cryptocurrencies can massively scale now. It sounds
definitely.
like that's correct. That would seem to go against a lot of the current wisdom, which suggests that blockchains aren't ready to scale, that maybe trade-offs need to be made to keep certain properties of those blockchains. Yeah. But you still believe that the tools in place right now to have a blockchain that actually provides value to users, that right now with what we have.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's 2 points. The first point is that's also, I think, is some of our advantage.
Well, why do you believe that? Because it does seem like you guys are one of the only ones who believe that. You talk to the Bitcoin community, the Ethereum community, they often talk about what they need to achieve on a technical level in order to scale, but you think you can scale now?
Yeah, because we use like depots. So our
Which is a delegated proof of stake?
Yeah, exactly. So our transaction right now is around like 3 million a day. I think at the end of this year, gonna to scale to 10 million to 15 million.
But I guess the question here is at what cost, right? So you make trade-offs because you want some benefit, right? The
exactly.
Bitcoin developers early on seemed to make a trade-off, right? They sacrificed scaling a lot in order to provide their definition sovereignty to their users, right? They wanted people to be able to run nodes and audit the blockchain. Is there something that you would do to Tron, some concession that you would make to not scale, or are you just very intent on scaling?
First of all, for the first stage, we are 100% on the scaling. That's something we think is our advantage. And also, I think depots also have like a autonomous mechanism that help. For example, if some of the super representative, which is the nodes producing the blocks in our network, is not qualified for the job. They will get re-elected. So the cycle for the re-election is like 6 hours. So if they don't perform well, they will get like re-elected for 6 hours. And at the same time, we are also considering to bring the rewards to those people who do the validate, who be the validator, and who be the full nodes in the network. So which also increase the decentralization.
So let's get to your the next part, which is I want to talk about your elevator pitch, which for those of you who are here, it's actually directly printed on the elevators. It says, we are creating a boundary-free, decentralized internet to return privacy and ownership to the people. So let's dive into that. What specific parts of the internet do you think need to be decentralized?
First of all, I think it's more like the infrastructure. So that's why.
What specific parts of that infrastructure need to be decentralized?
Yeah, sure. Basically, it's also something what we doing right now. So I think first part is the payment infrastructure, and also the way how people store value. So because the money is the first thing you want to decentralize and hold by the
but money is not on the internet right now. So if you're creating a decentralized internet, are you trying to decentralize the internet? And if so, which parts?
I think that's first of all, this is the problem of the internet. It's also why the Bitcoin is first invented in the first place, right?
But Bitcoin wasn't created to create a decentralized internet. Bitcoin was created to create at that time, peer-to-peer electronic cash, but now a store of value.
Yeah. I think it's more like we make the extension on top of that. So basically, the 2009 Bitcoin was invented, and the 2015 15 Ethereum introduced this programming money into the industry, and then we right now we moved to like the third stage. So it's more like the next phase is also a next infrastructure is like decentralized storage. So it's also we're gonna introduce in this Q2.
So maybe I could ask this question differently. What is your definition of decentralized? Because it seems like you know, obviously delegated proof of stake, you have a concentration of people validating. So which part of the network is decentralized? It sounds like when I read your advertisement that you want to launch a new internet with 21 people doing all the validating for that internet.
First of all, I think the way we define the decentralization, first is without like any permission to get into the validator in the first place.
So right now you don't need a permission to be validated?
No, you can
as long as I'm one of the 21.
Yeah, you can set up the nodes and get people re-elected. It's more like the democratic system right now we have, right? We only have like 100 senators. But as long as they got the full representative, we only got like one president, right? And 100 like senators, as long as those people get full votes, I think it's fine.
I guess, what do you think about the rights of users of the network? So again, when you're talking about decentralizing the internet, it seems like you would want to have, and I think there was a debate on this stage yesterday about what kind of rights people should have. You think that the decentralized internet that Tron would create would give people more rights?
Yeah, first of all, they can hold all their value. And when, right now, I think, right now we have like 400 dApps right now on the Tron blockchain. At the end of the year, we will have like 2,000. I think most of those dApps, the best part is users can always trade their data, their values, or their anything on their accounts with others.
Let's talk about that with the dApps. So I'm curious about this. Is there an instance where you would stop an application from running on top of the Tron blockchain? Say it was an app that did child trafficking, or there was a social network that promoted hate speech. Would you censor those apps or remove those apps from the store?
No, I think for network perspective, in terms of the network, we can't do that.
So on Tron, there's no way to prohibit people from doing that kind of illicit activity?
I think it's kind of like Bitcoin. So on network perspective, we can't do that. But because we also collaborate with like for Ethereum, have Etherscan, we have like Tronscan. So we have those browsers, have those Explorer, have those wallets. So they can like they can delete those apps.
So you're saying the ecosystem itself could prohibit people from accessing those apps?
At least I think we can decrease the possibility or fix that.
What happened if a regulator came to you and said, you need to shut these down? Obviously, you're very visible. What would be your response to them?
I think I will try my best and collaborate with those people who are building the ecosystem. But also, I will also let the regulator know there is certain parts of the things we can't do, right? It's more like a decentralized blockchain technology, so we can only do certain of things.
So you think the Tron network is strong enough on a technology level to withstand that kind of attack in terms of safeguarding people's value?
Yeah, definitely. We have been, June 25th is our 1-year anniversary, and I'm proud of in this year, the whole year, we never happened like a single incident about network itself got hacked or something, right?
So let's talk about use cases. I visited the Tron booth yesterday. It seems like there's a big focus from your team on gaming and attracting gaming developers. Is this Tron's target market?
Yeah, first of all, like games is definitely what we do. We launched a 100 million called Tron Arcade Fund, just for accelerate all the game developers migrate their games on top of the Tron blockchain.
And it seems like most of the apps that you're tracking right now are gambling apps. So it seems like 8 of the top 10 as of yesterday were decentralized gambling apps.
Yeah, I think right now, at least a large part of the game is gambling apps.
Well, I guess I want to ask about that. So, you know, there's this whole school of crypto economics, right? This idea that these data systems need to be able to maintain and secure and hold value over long periods of time. So I was talking to one of your employees, and I asked him, he said he was talking about this game called, I can't remember, it was some sort of casino game. you hold a token called Ante, and you play the game with the token.
Yeah.
And I asked him why you would hold that token. He said, well, because there'll be future use cases for that.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, okay, well, do you hold Tron? He said yes. And I asked him, well, why do you do that? He said, oh, I think there'll be future use cases for it.
Yeah.
So is that really the thing that's propelling the future value here, is just the expectation of future use cases? How does that become secure?
I think it's more like a mixture. So basically, even like Ante, if you hold the token, you can get a reward. Actually, I think it's like every 6 hours or something. You can
That's
get
the Tron token or the other token?
The Ante you are talking about.
Okay.
It's one of the apps running on the Tron.
I guess I'm just asking, if I launch a dApp, how do I know that it's going to be able to run on Tron in the future? So I guess what I would say is, are you familiar with the phrase like circular economy?
I think it's kind of mixture of that. So definitely, like everything you have like a future values, right? The network is development by the community every seconds. But I think you have lots of the certain use cases right now. For example, you need to freeze the TRX to vote. Second, you can freeze the TRX for the energy, for the bandwidth in the network. And also for the game developers, you also need a certain amount of the TRX as reserve, so you can run the DApps, stuff like that.
But that seems like it's all dependent on use cases. I guess when I look at Bitcoin, right, I see that the miners burn electricity. They need to sell Bitcoin in order to pay costs, right? And then other people need to spend Bitcoin, we're assuming, because they want a money system that can't be censored, right? So this creates sort of a circle. So how does the Tron circular economy work? Who needs to hold Tron and who needs to sell Tron? How does that work?
Yeah, sure, definitely. First of all, as an app developer, you need to hold a certain amount of Tron, or you need some certain of the people, they need to vote for you or freeze the Tron for you, because you need to get the bandwidth and energy in the network. So Tron is also more like a work computer. So if you want to deploy the certain of the resources into your apps, you need to freeze Tron or burn TRX to get those energies. And also on the user's level, so sometimes you need to consume a certain of it's just like the gas, like the energy to play the DApps. And also on the other hand, the community in the Tron network, they need to freeze TRX to votes to complete the governance, right? So like right now, like you need to use those votes to elect your super representatives.
Okay. Interesting. I want to switch gears a little bit to talk about Bittorrent.
Sure.
In my conversations with people, universally it's thought that this is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Most people, it seems like, have thought about it. I talked to an early Ethereum developer. He said that he had thought about it.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm a bit confused about the strategy. So Bittorrent, we kind of think about it as one thing, but it's really the sort of peer-to-peer technology. It's the company, and it's in the ecosystem of users. So I guess how does how do you see that fitting together? How does the company that you bought benefit from your acquisition of Bitcoin?
Yeah, sure, definitely. I understand your questions. First of all, I want to explain the difference between Bittorrent protocol and Bittorrent as a company.
Right.
So Bittorrent protocol is basically just like Bitcoin protocol, Ethereum protocol, Tron protocol. It's more like a protocol level. So even for the Bittorrent Inc.
The Bittorrent protocol is not running on top of Tron. It's its own protocol.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even for the Bittorrent Inc., the company itself, they can't control the Bittorrent protocol, right?
But I guess I'm saying you can't make the users use the token, right?
So basically, I will expand the logic behind this. But because the Bittorrent Inc. is like a very early developers in the Bittorrent networks, right? So right now, still like the 80% of the users, their clients is developed by the Bittorrent Inc. So it like you may have like BitTorrent and the uTorrent. So basically, so first of the product we're gonna introduce into the industry is like BitTorrent Speed. So basically, the logic is very simple. So in the future, after Q2, if you have BitTorrent and uTorrent clients, you can just seeding the files for the cryptocurrency. So that's the currency we introduced, like BTT.
I guess the BitTorrent, so I read the white paper, it seems to assume that over time people will stop using BitTorrent and money is the solution to that. But I find that weird because people have been using BitTorrent for years and they still do it, but they do it voluntarily. So how does the money help?
First of all, without the cryptocurrency, I will say that the network definitely works very well. I think the cryptocurrency will make the network better, actually. So because before that, BitTorrent has been long suffering from like one problem is a lot of the people stop seeding the files after they downloading it, right? So basically we're trying to increase like incentive for people continuously to seeding, also to leave their computer open and seeding files, or actively contribute to network.
But as people have stopped using BitTorrent for other reasons too, right? There's Netflix, streaming is much easier. So is the idea here to grow the pool of users using BitTorrent, or is the idea to get BitTorrent's existing users using cryptocurrency?
I think it's like both way.
Okay.
First of all, I think definitely we want to get more people, especially like the people don't know the crypto, exposure to the cryptocurrency. So I mean, this will also bring like a huge volume for the whole industry, right? I think even like other communities can also get benefits from that. Because we are not just adding like Tron. In the future, BitTorrent will support Bitcoin, Ethereum. Like
BitTorrent will support Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other
Yeah, definitely.
And how, what do you mean by that?
That's also our roadmap. So basically, first of all, even though BTT was like a TRC10 token, is in the Tron network, but in the future we will create the cryptocurrency wallet, so it will support all kinds of the cryptocurrency in the BitTorrent clients.
So let's talk about you, maybe to kind of cap it off.
Yeah, sure.
You know, as I said, you're having a little bit of trouble kind of resonating with some of the cryptocurrency insiders. Is there any sort of anything that you think you need to prove? Does Tron have something to prove over the next year, 2 years?
Yeah, sure, definitely. First of all, we will launch our layer 2 solution called Sun Network. So it's also
called the Sun Network?
Yeah, Sun Network.
After you?
So basically, it's just like a community meme. So my last name is not really like Sun. So it's more like in China, it's pronounced like a Sun. It's like Sunzi. It's like it's an Asian like Chinese philosopher. But because when I come to like the United States, people always call like Sun, Sun, Justin Sun. It seems like I'm like a clean energy CEO.
Okay.
So that's why, I mean, it's like more like a community meme. So we decided to call like Sun Network. Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, I guess the final question. So if the haters end up being accurate and Tron fails, will you continue to work in the cryptocurrency space? I know that you put a lot of importance on success, right? You seem to be enamored with that. Is there a point where if you don't get success in the cryptocurrency industry, you would go elsewhere? Yeah,
first of all, I think we will succeed in the industry. And also, I think crypto is my like a lifetime career. It's completely changed my life. Before that, I want to be like a lawyer, even prepare for the LSAT. But after I get into Bitcoin and the crypto industry, eventually find my own cryptocurrency, I mean, this is already become like my lifetime career.
Lawyer's not a fallback either. Justin, not a bad fallback either. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you for the questions, and
thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.